Well, hello. I'm working on my 727 to 9 or A518 conversion. I got 410s in the back of my 71 Challenger, so that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to explain a couple of basics to you guys. The transmission mount front is the same as everything else. Okay, you can use your starter, same thing as 727 flex plate and all that stuff. So nothing's changed there. Okay, no conversion there. The shift handles, they fit off of a 727, and I'll convert them over to my A518. That's the A518. This is the 727. So those, same thing. You can just swap them over. Neutral safety switch, which is right there. Swap that over to the other one. Just repeat, Transmission lines. You got to go to 3/8 lines. The 727 one has 5/16. The A518 with the overdrive has the 3/8 ones. So you need to swap that all over. And if you're using a factory radiator, I would suggest an external cooler, to put on the A518. Okay. Now, as the difference here, you'll see a 3-pin connector there, if I can get the light right. Okay. You'll see 3 pins in there. Now I believe you can see them. Anyway, the front pin is for the overdrive negative. The middle one is hot. When you turn the ignition switch in the run position, it should be hot. And then the back one would be for your lockup torque converter negative. Now, to wire that up, the center pin would go to somewhere in your fuse box or somewhere that has power only in the run position when the engine is running. The front one would be for your overdrive negative, because they work off of grounds. So instead of running a hot through a switch, you run ground through a switch. Same thing for the lockup, the rear one, which is the lockup. You run that negative is also through a switch instead of a hot. Okay. And now, and when I mean front, front is that way, rear is that way, on the transmission. Rear is that way, front is that way. Front one, overdrive negative. Middle one, keyed hot. Rear one, lockup torque converter negative. Okay? Hopefully you understand what I'm saying. Now, here's a kind of a... But anyway, the 727 is 35.5 inches long. That's from here to here. The A518 is 38.25 inches long from here to here. So that means there's a difference of 2 3/4 inches. So that tells me the 727 is 2 3/4 inches longer than the 727. So that would tell me I'd probably have to cut my drive shaft down 2 3/4 inches. But they both take the 727 yoke on your drive shaft, so that part will fit. Okay. Now, when you want to stick this A518 where the 727 was, there's a couple things you need to do. I don't like to cut on the brace that goes across the transmission tunnel that supports your torsion bars. I'd rather cut on the transmission. Okay. So on the transmission, this went all the way across. So I notched that out. Then also down right here, this went out. You gotta notch this out because your shifter rod for your floor console goes through there. If you got a floor console. Okay. Yeah, otherwise than that, and then you use a GM 2268 transmission mount. You gotta hog out the holes in it. And then from there you either buy or make your own transmission cross member. But I'll be making my own, and I'll show you that in another video. So now I gotta take those shifter rods off, put them on there because they fit. They're the same, but you gotta use the 727 ones. Don't use your stock 518 ones. The kickdown lever and the shifter selection lever. So I'll be switching that over. Now I'm going to switch over to neutral safety switches. They just switch over too. So I'll be doing that next. And then since I got that all notched out there like I explained to you, so I don't have to notch out the floor, then she's ready to go in. So I'm going to do that quick, and then I'm going to get her under the car, and I'll make another video of me putting it in. So yeah, so anyway, trying to think if there's anything else. And you gotta, yeah, I told you about the transmission. Oh yeah, and the spoilers. I gotta just pull it out of there and put it in this one. They swap over as well. So a lot of things swap over, which is a good thing. You don't have to monkey foot around or anything like that. But yeah, the drive shaft has to be shortened 2 3/4 inches. You can figure on the average. And then swap over your parts. And then you gotta use the 3/8 transmission lines on the A518. Your 727 5/16 lines, well, get rid of them. Because you got this overdrive unit right here. So she needs more cooling, more fluid flow. The front one goes to the radiator, and then the back one comes in from the radiator. Because the front one, the pump pushes it out to the radiator, and then the other one comes back, and then it moves up the rear planetaries and the bushing and back there and stuff like that, the output shaft, and you know, for the transmission. So yeah, so if you're going to pressurize it, remember the front is the pressure to the radiator, the front one here, and the rear one comes from the radiator, if that helps you. I've been rebuilding these transmissions for years. And then on the plug, you know, if you remember, the front one operates the overdrive on the plug, the middle one is your keyed power, and the rear one is your lockup torque converter solenoid. So those three, the middle one run to your key switch somewhere on the run position of the motor while the motor's running. The front one, have that on a toggle switch, or you can get the vacuum plug kit from PATC, which I have run before. And then that requires putting vacuum switches on the ports over here. But that's another story. I'm not even going to go there right now. But yeah, so hopefully this video helps. Please like and subscribe. Any questions, don't hesitate to send a message over. And yeah, it'll mount right up to your 5.7 Hemi. You know, 5.7 Hemis, 6.1 and 6.4s, they all have small block Mopar pattern to them, you know, in Mopar. So, okay, take care. Please like and subscribe. Thank you. I sure would appreciate it, guys.